Tuperos y tuperas, welcome everyone to Dude by the River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union with your favorite Union team, the PSN Union team. And today on Dude by the River, we are going to cover some of the news and notes that happened with your team this past week. Of course, we're going to look back at the FC Dallas match. We're going to look ahead at the LAFC match and so much more here on today's Dude by the River. But let's get this started, shall we, guys? I think so. Let's get it. Right, guys, and before we get started, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. Don't ever miss one of our episodes. We are a growing Union podcast, and you do not want to miss any of the action we got for you. But today, guys, I have some great guys on the podcast here today. We are almost a full squad today. But today, let's start off with my man, Tim Logu. Tim, what is going on, brother?
Not much. I'm hanging out. I'm ready for this weekend's match. I know it's going to be a late one, but I'm excited to stay up and I'm cautiously optimistic. That's what I'm going to say.
I'm hearing that the PSN team is calling out of work on Monday. Is that true?
I cannot confirm or deny that.
No comment. I love it. All right. As well today, we got my man, Jeff Green. What's up, Jeff? How you feeling today?
Hey, John, as the senior member of the team, I'm already starting to nap to get ready for Sunday.
There you go. You got to get those naps, and you definitely have to get those naps. Hey, what's this senior stuff? Jeff, you look like you're 26. Get out of here with that stuff.
All right, I'll just say I'm 26 now.
There you go. All right, and last but not least, this guy needs absolute no introduction here. He is the founder, the father of PSN. That is Mr. Liam Jenkins. Liam, how's it going over in England today?
It's good. I'm doing well. We know it's another late night, and approximately 5 minutes from now on Sunday is when the Union will kick off. So I'm just training myself. I feel like I'm going through an assault course, so I'm readying up for the game this weekend. And just really quickly, if I could, before, I think it's important we have backstory here. So this podcast, right, I think we have gone through hell and high water to get this out for you. So we all know the story 1 week ago where unfortunately the audio didn't record and John took it on himself. He took the backpack on, soldiered through the battlefield and got us up an episode. Last night, the whole Union team come back. We record a show. It's dynamite. It is like music to your ears. It's the best thing you've ever heard, maybe, or at least top 5, right? Then we realised no one was recording. So now, we've lost a brother in Matt. Matt is unfortunately unable to do it tonight, but we've got all of us back here again just to get this show out. So I just wanted to say a big thanks to you guys for sticking with it because we are so dedicated to getting this show out, and I couldn't be more excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, especially Tim, myself, and Jeff, we're kind of new to the podcast game. We're still figuring it out, but I promise you tonight is going to be the best episode yet. We're gonna have fun action for you, and we have a fun interview as well to prepare you guys for your match this upcoming weekend. And Liam, like, you are Mr. Eagles, right? Like, this Sunday kind of feels like, Sunday night football, right? We're gonna have the anticipation. Same thing, like we're waiting for the Eagles on Sunday. What do we do all day? So it's definitely a fun anticipation for Sunday. So let's get this, guys. All right, but we're going to start off with some news and notes with your Philadelphia Union. I want to start off with on Tuesday night, the Philadelphia Union threw a media mayhem, essentially a FIFA tournament for some of the media members that do cover the Philadelphia Union, and it was all for charity work, which is the best part about it. I was blessed enough to represent my brothers of PSN, and I played for us. I was not only there for PSN, I was also there representing, you guys know my second country is the beautiful country of Colombia. I represented in my Yeti Mina Copa America jersey, so that was fun. I got a couple of questions about that. And of course, the third, last but not least, I was there for Autism Speaks. I was there playing for that charity. If you guys don't know, my younger brother has autism, and he is one of my main motivations of why I work my ass off every day to try to be one of the many voices of the Philadelphia Union. So it was a fun night. It was also fun seeing some of the other guys in Philly sports. We saw Mark Farzetta there from the 97.5 show in the mornings. Pat Egan was there. James Seltzer was the host. So it was fun seeing those guys who covered the other main four sports, indulge themselves in the Union world. It was really cool to see, really cool talking to those guys. Farzetta had a tough time on the sticks. He kind of had to figure out how to play the game. So it was definitely fun doing that. Big shout outs to the Philadelphia Union for throwing that. It's stuff like that, really, guys, that separates the Union from the other teams, trying to build the community together through soccer. So that was definitely a fun time. And shouts out to Jonathan Batch, who was the winner. I was blessed enough to lose to him in the semifinals. I was the underdog in this tournament, and he picked Barcelona. I picked my favorite European club, Napoli, and you guys can imagine how that would go down. Hopefully, it's not a precursor to Champions League this upcoming week. So, good stuff there. Thanks again, Philadelphia Union. All right, next up, guys, I'm going to pass it to my man here, Tim. Tim, how are the pick'ems looking with our fans at the moment?
Yeah, so, first week, I think a lot of people were very optimistic on the Union, either getting a win or a draw. So first off, I'd like to say that our PSN team did not get anything right. We either said they were going to draw or win. We were very optimistic as well, which I think is a good thing. But we also had 29 people fill out our pick'em contest here to try to win some PSN swag and then predict the Philadelphia Union matches way in advance. So first off, shout out to everyone who did that. That's awesome to see all of these people come together and do this sort of thing. But with that, out of the 29 fans that filled out this form, we have five people who got it right and said that FC Dallas would win the first game. I'll just run through their names really quickly. We have Ashley, who predicted it right, Sean Schaefer, Dave Burt, Adam Bathurst, and sorry if I'm butchering your name, and Alex, who got it right. So those are the five who are starting off with one correct answer here. And we'll give weekly updates as we kind of go through this podcast and through the season, see how the Union do here and how we thought they would do way before the season.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, guys, seriously, thank you so much for everyone who filled out. Guys, keep up with that and keep sending your questions in too, guys. I really appreciate everyone who's taking the time to listen to our stuff here. Really means a lot. We are definitely trying to grow this. So good job by everyone whoever got the prediction right that FC Dallas would win there. All right, let's move on here, guys. The next big news and note that we need to mention, guys, is I believe it was Jonathan Tannenwald who released this, but Alejandro Bedoya, it was released that he is no longer a designated player, which now brings up the question, because only designated player left on this Union roster is Mr. Jamiro Monteiro. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it here. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Will the Philadelphia Union in the next year, in the next season, of course, because we have the summer transfer coming up, will the Philadelphia Union look to add another DP? And I will ask my colleagues here. We'll start off with you, Tim. What do you make of this news, and do you think this is a precursor that Jay Sugarman's going to throw some dough on another DP?
Yeah, I mean, the news, I think, well, we saw Bedoya's contract news last week, obviously. And then, earlier this week was when Tannenwald kind of broke the news, so he's not a DP anymore. So as of right now, Jamiro Monteiro is the only DP that the Union have. So just a little bit of context with that in the story that he wrote there. The reason that the Union were allowed to kind of like buy down Bedoya's DP status was basically a rule in MLS where you have to like bring in another DP, which is why I think a lot of people have been starting this conversation of, oh, will the Union bring in another DP? However, in Tannenwald's article there, he did note that Jamiro Monteiro, when he was then signed by the Union this offseason, counted as that DP. So while I I do hope that the Union bring in another DP. I think the conversation that kind of was sparked from this was thinking that, oh, maybe we'll see a new DP here in the next few weeks. I don't think so. I do think that this sets up the Union, though, in for a very good position moving forward. Bedoya is obviously a staple of the club, and he's probably worth the DP status. But now that he isn't there, they can, focus some more of that allocation money, more of the targeted allocation money, and all the fun words, the TAM, GAM, and everything else, towards a new player. And I think they're kind of using this early season to see where they want to address that. That's my thought on it, anyways. Is that they'll kind of see how these players gel, and then address it. Hopefully, either in the summer or target someone for the start of next year at the latest. But I mean, if you have 3 DP slots and you only fill one of them in the way that MLS runs now, you're not going to be able to compete with the big clubs that fill those spots. So I think they need to do it. And I think to answer your initial question, I do think that Sugarman will put up some money for some DP player. Will it be someone maybe that is Ernst has a connection with, and maybe it's more of like a Moneyball DP, probably, just knowing the Union. But who knows? We'll see that coming up here shortly.
Absolutely, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, and I think you got a lot of Union fans hopeful, because I think we all kind of want to see the Union spend a little dough on some impact players, to say the least. Jeff, what are your thoughts on this topic?
I also think that they're going to, evaluate and then go from there. My guess is that Ernst does not have a player in mind right now. If there was a glaring weakness on the team, and I really can't think of a glaring weakness right now, I would say, well, maybe he's got someone in mind. But like Tim said, I think they're going to see how at least the first few months of the season go. And then, if anyone's available with something that they really need, then they can make their move.
Good. Awesome stuff. Liam, you got anything to add there?
No, I just think it's a really smart move, and it's everything that's been echoed by you guys already. I think the fact that, it says a lot about Bedoya as well, that he's willing to kind of be okay with that. It's not exactly the easiest pill to swallow, I can imagine, like being in the position he's in. But also understanding from Tanner's perspective in the Union that they may need that flexibility moving forward. And like we said, there may not be a glaring need now, but we don't know how the injury bug may or may not strike. And, touch wood, it's Philadelphia. It's probably going to happen at one point. It just gives them that room to maybe manoeuvre into a move later on, or to just throw the kitchen sink at a player that they may not have otherwise been able to attain. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. First off, with Ali, he is an absolute class act. To me, I definitely I feel like Ali wants to win something. He is invested in the Philadelphia area. He loves this area, and he wants to see this area get another championship. And if that means he has to take take a step back in his contract and remove the DP from this contract, then he's going to do that. When it comes to finding another DP. Right now, I think we're going to continue seeing what we have, with our team right now. If we do use the DP, I think it's going to either be the on a number 10, someone who could possibly play a shuttle midfielder role as well, someone to replace essentially Marco Fabian's production, or it could be a forward. Do not be surprised if it is a forward. But I realistically think that we're going to see what goes on with this midfield. What do we have in Brujo? What do we have in Orovic? Can Jamiro and Brendan play consistently? I think more so the question is on Brendan. Can he play that consistently on match in and match out? We will see what happens from now until the summer transfer window opens. If we do we feel as if we need one more player to take that next step, then I think we will do that. At the end of the day, if you look at some of these teams that are actually, making it far into the playoffs, making it to the MLS Cup Finals, they have that impact player. I know we play well as a team, but it would be nice to have that one guy that, look, we're down a goal and we have, 10 minutes left. create a spark and get us that goal. And I don't feel like we have that right now, but we will see. You know me, guys. I'm gonna wait it out. I'm gonna be patient. We will see what happens. But definitely sparked a little interest in the Union fans as far as this topic, because we all want to see another DP. And I know Union Holkey listening is probably like, where's Balotelli? He's probably at the airport still waiting for Balotelli to come to Philly. So it's definitely something that has intrigued the interest of Union fans. But good stuff there. Next up, guys, let's move down to our Union 2 squad. Because as well, today on Thursday, they did spark a lot of conversations on Twitter as they released the new kit for the Union 2's first season, and it was a little controversial by a lot of Union fans. If you haven't seen it yet, guys, definitely check it out on the Union 2 Twitter account. Pretty much, it's a white kit. It's a collar. It's a collared kit as well. It's got a blue collar, and the sponsor is really what got Union fans going. It does look a little generic, the kit in general, but it's a SunTrust Financial Group sponsor. Is that correct, Tim? Did I get that right?
I think it's Sun East Federal Credit Union. Yeah, it's
Sun East Federal Credit Union.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah.
Definitely so.
Is the word. I think it's.
I mean, look, like, this is the first season of Union 2. I wasn't expecting, any crazy kits. I'm not mad at these kits. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the collars on the soccer jerseys. I know it was a thing like back in the 90s, and some of the classic kits do have collars. It's not my thing. But it's not a bad Union 2 jersey to start off with. What were your thoughts, guys, on this kit?
I feel like, and I don't know if you guys had it. So let me just try and compare, because obviously I know that there's a bit of a barrier here in geographical location. So when you did you have PE in America, right? You do like exercise and you do sports.
Yeah.
I guess it's just right. So if you forget your kit and your clothes and you go to the big spare bucket, do they have that? It just feels a little bit like that, and I can't quite work out why.
Yeah, just to go off that, Liam, most of the players on the Union 2 are going to be academy kids, so they're probably used to doing that. So there you go. That's probably, they wanted them to feel comfortable, so that's it.
Very fair point. Can't argue with that.
What you got, Jeff?
It just kind of, it's got a little too much going on. I'm taking a look at it here, and if you have piping down the buttons and the collar, you really should have it on the sleeves. There's nothing on the sleeves, but they have stripes on the sides. And then, it just kind of, it does look like a Union Adidas polo, and someone just walked up and took a giant sticker and just stuck Sun East in the middle.
In conclusion, we are all massive fans.
They should have got my man Silver right to get the stickers on those jerseys. Some Mimbo and all that other good stuff that he has. Yeah. It's also tough too when Red Bull 2 come out with their kits. And listen, I'm not gonna front with you guys. It's a nice shirt. It's black and white. It looks sleek. It looks really nice. And it's tough when we look over here and we got a generic looking kit. And the team did announce that those kits are not for sale. So I'm shit out of luck because I would have bought one. So that sparked a lot of conversations within Union Twitter today. Bethlehem Steel. I'm only saying Bethlehem Steel, guys, because if you go on Google, and shout out to Mike Thomas for this, if you go on Google right now and you type in Union 2, you're going to find that Google, their scores, it doesn't say Union 2 yet. It still says Bethlehem Steel. So Google, you might want to update the action that's going on in the lower levels of American soccer. But this upcoming weekend, your Union 2 will face off against London United. That'll be
not a different.
They're facing off against a League One team over in England, London. That's a 7:30 kickoff on Saturday.
It's
And
at
it
the
will,
Soup.
yeah, it will be the first match at the Soup. So and it's also a good thing too that this will be the first match. They can get all the kinks out the way. As you guys know, we have a brand new scoreboard, so hopefully there's no mishaps. If there is mishaps, it happens on Saturday, not next Saturday, the 14th, when the real home opener happens, when your Philadelphia Union take on the San Jose Earthquakes. So good stuff, guys. So that's your Philadelphia Union 2 update for the week. But guys, let's get back to the senior team, and we want to touch upon what went down last Saturday down in Dallas. Your Philadelphia Union took on the FC Dallas for the first match of the season. We all were hopeful and thinking that the way the season ended last season, we were going to go into this season even better. We were going to start off with a nice win down in Dallas. Dallas sucks, as we all know. Shouts out my Eagles fans out there. But it didn't go our way, guys. Unfortunately, it did not go our way. The Philadelphia Union fall to FC Dallas 2-0. It left Union fans a little displeased, to say that's putting it lightly. They went to Twitter, and it was not a pretty sight Saturday night in Union Twitterville. But let's hear from you guys. I'll pass this on to you. What are your thoughts on this FC Dallas match? Whoever wants to start it off, let's hear it.
I'll start off, guys.
Oh, go ahead, Jim.
Let's hear it, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was missing something. I mean, everyone's excited, especially for this season to start. It did feel kind of like one of those midsummer, Union are going through a lull, trips to Columbus, nothing happens.
Or like Chicago last season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where you're just kind of like begging for just one moment. And I mean, I guess other than Aronson's, hemp, there really was nothing on the offensive side of the ball. And people gave Jim, a lot of guff about starting Creval. Creval was actually one of their best players, I thought, on a Saturday night. But I'm not going to really hang my head the Union shouldn't hang their heads too low about this. Dallas, they only lost one match at home last season. They have the potential to be a top, one of the top teams in the West. And, they have talent all over the place. So I don't know how many people were expecting a win. I was expecting a better performance than what I saw, but it was, it's a very good team.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on Saturday night, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, we're back. Like, this feels like Philadelphia Union soccer. Yeah. Unfortunately, the team going out to a tough opponent in the Western Conference and putting up a game where you felt like they could have been in it for 80 minutes in the match, and then there's 10 minutes of that are just utter cringe-worthy soccer where the first goal comes to mind where Glesnes doesn't step up and Andrzejczyk hits a perfect shot, past Blake, and you're like, oh, well, that could have been stopped if we were just, on his back the whole time and didn't allow him to turn. And then the last goal, in the 90th minute of super sub Paxton Pombakal coming on and just running through the feet. It's not a great start, obviously, but it's this is Union soccer. This is we're back into MLS. It's not going to be the end of the world. Obviously, it's just not a great start. I'll echo a little bit too about Warren Creval. For me, he's definitely the best player on the field for the Union, which is saying a lot because not many people had him pegged as a starter other than our boy Matt McLean. So shout out to him for being on that Warren hype train there. He looked really, really good. He provided a lot of cover, especially when Dallas looked to use their speed on the wings. He was able to kind of shift over and help out our outside backs. I feel like this Union squad is just gonna learn from this. Obviously, they have another tough test this week in LAFC, and no one wants to lose their first game of the season, but I think it's good that they got Dallas out of the way early. Two, they didn't have to go out to Dallas and play in 100-degree heat. It was like 70 and like breezy in Dallas, which doesn't ever happen. So it's kind of nice that was able to get out of the way too. So that's what I have. It's obviously not a great start for them here, but I think they will learn a lot from the few mistakes they made, and they'll feel like they really should have gotten points from this match. So I think it'll be a motivating, factor for them moving forward.
Yeah, first off, Paxton with the 80s porn stash look bent this over and went to town on that second goal on us, and listen, let's be real. Like, he's going to be an absolute spectacular talent in the MLS. Maybe Europe is in his future. We will see, but that the guy is definitely talented. And in Dallas too, like you said, the weather was nice. I don't think they were in the bottom half of the attendance as well. I think they had like 16,000. They were like third to last, I believe, in attendance in week 1. So they didn't really get a hostile environment. But what do you got, Liam? What are your thoughts on the Dallas game?
For me, as Tim will know from the watch-along stream that we had, it was just 60 minutes of screaming on mine. I think there was just increasing frustrations throughout the game. I think it started out, reasonably well, and both teams were trying to feel each other out. And there was almost like the Union in the midfield were fine. They could hold up play well, and they could get the ball back, like the ball-winning midfielder. Like we said, Cravao had an exceptional game. They could move it forward well. There was just no creative flair almost. Like the second it got on an almost attacking or almost promising position, shots went flying out of the stadium or it wasn't worked properly. And then on the other end of it, I think Matt Real had an impressive game, like coming up against Barrios. Not an easy matchup at all, as someone that is essentially a backup behind Wagner. Held his own with the help of Cravao, and I think overall both wing-backs, as Tim mentioned, had nice games. But for me, I think there was a 20-minute period where when Aronson was subbed off, I think that the energy on pressing and attacking was like zapped from the team. And then, as we know, Wonderboy comes on, just rips through the team, and just lays off an absolute curler into the top right. So I don't know. It's a tough game to figure out, but I think that there was a moment where the energy just got sucked out. And it'll feel like the Union realised, like, do you know what? It's probably going to be a draw at most. But the thing with the MLS is that in those situations, if it is a draw up to that point, that there can always be a bit of like scrappiness in the box or a dodgy corner or a dangerous free kick or something that can turn a game on its head with seconds to go. And I think the Union were almost holding out for that lifeline, that just swing of momentum, and it never came around. So there's no real reason to be like exponentially concerned with the team, but at the same time, it's not like we can run away from that game saying, right, the Union are going to win it all straight through to the Supporters' Shield. It's very much just a meh, on to the next one, and we'll see what they can cook up this weekend.
No, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Like, listen, it's the first game. We can be optimistic here. Like, this stuff happens to a lot of teams, and the best part about it is the Union's first third of the schedule is where you get you get through those Western Conference teams, those tough Western Conference teams. So you get past this final third here, and it's going to be smooth sailing from here on out. Trust me, guys. Now, here's the thing. On Saturday night, it was tough for the Union to generate some sort of spark of attack when your fullbacks. First off, Bray Gaddis, we know, is not much of a guy who's going to create a spark of attack from the right side, right? On the left-hand side, Matt Real can create a spark of attack. The issue is, when he has to track back and play defense, that can be a challenge. So you might not want to attack on the left-hand side as much if you're going to have a liability on defense. And then Warner Cravao, he did play great on Saturday. I'm not going to take that away from him. He is the best defensive midfielder that we have on our team. The problem is sometimes he's not the best at creating that spark of attack. We're not even asking him to be Harris Medunian, getting that long ball out there, but being able to win the ball on our back line, right? And then getting that first pass, that nice first pass that can create the spark of attack. He's not going to do that for you. So pretty much you're relying on the Union to, create off of turnovers and the counterattack. which FC Dallas, they knew that and they combated that pretty well. Like I said on the Duke by the River, the video part of the review show this past weekend, a lot of these guys on this team had to shake off rust, and you definitely saw that. They're going to figure this out. I'm not worried too much. And also too, let's mention our boy Fafa Pico. It was tough seeing him in red. It was definitely hard on the eyes, but listen, he knew that Ray Gaddis is, not that strong of a defender sometimes, and he attacked and he went at him. And not just Fafa going at it, Ray Gaddis, but on the other side, Michael Barrios went at it on Matt Real as well. And, I'm going to commend my fullbacks here because both of them did their job and they played solidly on defense. So that is definitely good. It's a good sight to see. On the Elsinho point, Liam, you did bring up a great point there. Listen, Brandon Aronson, he's going to do everything you ask of him. With Elsinho, it's a little bit difficult because, listen, Elsinho is great in the final third because he is so good on 1v1. He can create space on his own and create for others. And he's not really going to be really active on the press. So that kind of changes the mentality there. So definitely that was all tough stuff for the Union. But listen, we're going to figure it out. I hope Jim tries different things. We're going to have another tough test this weekend. So yeah, it always sucks losing to Dallas. I don't care what sport it is. But listen, we're gonna learn from here, and we are going to move on. Anyone have any last notes or any last words you want to say about the FC Dallas match?
I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff, guys. All right. Well, let's look ahead, guys, because Posidelphia here, right? Now the next opponent for the Philadelphia Union is not going to be any easier. We're facing off against the Supporters Shield champs from last season, LAFC. You guys know they're in their third season. These guys have been ramping it up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to prepare you for this game here, PSN and Duke by the River are lucky enough to have someone who knows a thing or two about LAFC. Today we have a great interview. We recorded it prior from this episode. I was blessed enough to interview Valeria. She is a OG, an Expo original, the first supporters group for LAFC. She's also a member of the whole 3252 that has really cultivated American soccer fan culture here in America. They're doing an absolutely fantastic job with their tifos and their supporters group culture in general. And she's going to come on and tell us what to expect with this LAFC team and a little bit of the history of LAFC. So without further notice, guys, we are bringing you now the interview with Valeria. Let's hit it.
All right, Tuperos, now joining me to help preview this match here against LAFC. I have been blessed enough to get you guys someone who knows a thing or two about this club we're going to face. Joining me today, guys, I have a OG Expo original and a member of 3252. I have the great Miss Valeria. Valeria, how you doing today?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing great. First off, I'm so happy you jumped on Duke by the River today. I'm a big fan of what you do. If you don't know anything about Valeria, simply because obviously she is a fan of LAFC, listen, she brings the energy match in and match out over at Bank of California Stadium, similarly to what your own Adam Booth does, but she is absolutely electric, and she's going to help us today understand more about LAFC. You ready for this, Valeria?
Yes, I am. And by the way, this is my first podcast, so
we're popping the cherry here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going on. I love it. This is funny because she is a well-known LAFC fan, but a Union podcast got to her first, so I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one. All right. Well, Valeria, to start off with, when you talk about LAFC and the history, the short history now, LAFC, you kind of can't not bring up Chivas USA, right? It was before LAFC, it was the second club in LA. I kind of want to get your thoughts, what you remember of Chivas USA, and what can you tell us about, sort of the fans that were Chivas USA, why they jumped on board with LAFC. Whatever your thoughts are on that.
I wasn't a fan of Chivas USA, but I am a fan of Chivas. I grew up with the club, And I remember hearing about Chivas USA, but there was this entire stigma of MLS within, at least within my family, that it's just a crap league.
Yeah.
And I just, and it was out in person too, so it was out of my way, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right from where I'm at. But I just know that it spiraled down because the ownership wanted to make it like how it is in Chivas, just Mexican players, and they had to follow the rules, and then that's when they wanted to like get out of the league, and basically just kind of messed up a lot of the supporters because they were there in and out, and I know from a lot of the supporters, Ray, Chiva Mayor, Black Army Jimmy, they were all there up to the very end of Chivas USA.
That's crazy.
And I give them huge props because that team spiraled all the way down and they were still there to the very end. And for me, that's real support right there. So I'm very thankful to have them with the 3252. So the team went down and LAFC started popping up and they went up to those supporters and props to you guys. And they basically won them over and we started building the 3252. So
that's all.
I'm Expo Originals. We're the first non-affiliated Chivas USA SG.
Oh, okay.
So there's the Black Army and the Ultras, D9 Ultras. And then it's Expo Originals and then Luckies and TSG, Cuervos, the list goes on. We have SG. That's why we're just the 3252.
Okay. Awesome. No, good. That's good. I mean, like I said, you can't not think of the history of LAFC without mentioning Chivas USA. It was definitely an interesting time period. I know personally, me, when the Union weren't a thing before 2010, I kind of saw myself rooting a little bit for Chivas USA. It was a Latino-based club. The club comes from Mexico, so I kind of hopped on that. But good stuff. Now, how did you personally? What attracted you to this new club in LA?
I started seeing it pop up on Twitter, and a couple of my mutuals started talking about it. And I was like, okay, so I started following it, and I saw when they got signed Bella, so I was like, okay, intrigued. And I was like, you know what, season ticket.
Take my money. Go ahead.
There you go. And from there, I went to a holiday party, and I saw the 3252, and I was just like, I have to be a part of this. And I was like, I have to be at the first match. And I didn't know nobody at all. And we're celebrating our 2-year anniversary of our first match today, actually.
That's so cool.
And I flew in, and I was instantly drawn in, and I became an Expo Original that day, and that's history.
That's great. I love those stories because it's similar to me with Sons of Ben. You're the minute you're in it, you are really in it, and people really do embrace you. I don't care what city, what fan bases it is. American soccer culture, it's such a tight knit group, and that's so cool. I'm glad you were able to experience that as well.
I see that a lot, even within MLS period.
Yeah,
if you're on Twitter, you see that on a daily basis. We've built this community, and we rally each other up. I know when I got in my backyard car accident, I had a bunch of fans from Atlanta donate to my GoFundMe. You shared it. It was pretty amazing. I was I couldn't believe what was going on.
Yeah, it's really MLS is such a grassroots movement right now, and we are small. Believe it or not, as many people are in MLS Twitter, we are still pretty small. And we are the fifth, kind of entity in America. So it's something that's growing, and the more we grow, I feel it's only getting tighter and tighter. And it's really definitely cool to see other fan bases, helping each other out. I love seeing that type of stuff. All right, well, let's get to the action on the pitch here, Valeria, because LAFC, they are hey, it's a new season, but they are still rolling. Last Thursday, LAFC completed one of the most magical comebacks I have seen in my short CCL life. Coming back against Club Leon, which really was a tough opponent. They really were fast, physical, typical Liga MX club, and LAFC on their home turf took care of business and won that game 3-2, and they are moving on to the next round to face off against Cruz Azul. And then Sunday, in the home opener, the first game of the season, LAFC welcomed the new expansion club, David Beckham's Inter Miami, and LAFC on a absolutely beautiful chip. I remember seeing the goal, freaking out, and my girlfriend was telling me to relax. I'm like, babe, you don't know what I just saw right now. Like, it was an absolute beautiful goal. Explain, tell us how what your thoughts on the first week was of LAFC.
It was unbelievable. I was at Leon, and even with the 2-0 loss, we were just like, we got this at home. Like, we're basically almost unbeatable at home. I think it's like 90% of the time we win at home, or we get the draw. We don't lose at home. So we had that like mindset. And so when Leon came and it was 3-0, I remember when the third goal went in, I was like, we're going to the next step. Like, I was just like, we're actually moving on. And hosting Miami, you could see the players were so tired. They were exhausted. It was a quick turnaround from flying in from Leon, playing at home.
I know.
Within literally 2 days, they played against Miami. And I almost thought there was a chance that they were going to tie it up, because you could see they were just dragging and dragging the more that you watch the game. But with that chip,
it was beautiful, and it's just so funny. I remember seeing the halftime, and they're asking Bob what he thinks of his the performance, and Bob just all he could do was just talk about the goal. It was so funny. No, it was definitely great. Inter Miami definitely they played hard, but Carlos Vela is a special type of player. He's really on a different class when it comes to the best players of MLS. So 2 wins in a week for LAFC. So they're starting off the season similar to how it went last year. Now, I know you're a big LAFC fan, and they look unstoppable. Us Union fans, we just want to know, is it possible? How can we stop this LAFC team at home?
Stop Vela. Even your owner said it. He was like, Vela's unstoppable.
Yeah. Jim Curtin, our coach, said we can't really stop. Yeah, we can't stop him. Yeah, I was like, well, thanks, Jim. So, how are we going to win now?
And it's like, I remember reading the article, they were just like, it's not like that we're throwing the white flag, but we're kind of just basically admitting that it's going to be a hard match for you guys.
Yeah.
And my only, it's not that I have a doubt, it's that I know we're going to be resting players for our up-and-coming CCL match.
Against Cruz Azul.
Keep Vela playing all the entire game, maybe. I would rather save him for Cruz Azul. But he is going to play.
I figured he would definitely play. I look at it last season. Now, we didn't stop Vela, but we did do things to try to, keep the ball away from LAFC last season in Chester. And, of course, LAFC got the goal to tie it up. But, I personally think if we could just take a little page out of last season, we have our own problems to deal with, too. That's the thing we're forgetting here, too. If we can get a draw in LA, I will be super ecstatic. But, yeah, the way LAFC is playing at this moment, Carlos Vela is the best player, if not one of the best players in MLS. So, yeah, we'll see how we can try to stop LAFC. All right, so how do you think LAFC will line up here? Let's start off with your goalkeeper. I'm assuming we're not going to see a change there?
Premier.
Okay. Awesome. And, no changes there. He looks good. No, he looks good replacing Tyler Miller. I like it.
I really enjoy having him now. I had my issues with Miller. He did kind of choked here and there, especially against Galaxy, so I could never forgive him for that.
Oh, man.
See him go But for me, it's gonna be Vermeer, Blackman, Djokovic, Figueroa, Palacios, and
Okay.
K Atuesta, which is your Pacero right there, right?
We'll get to him in a second.
And then Blessing, Rosy Vela Rodriguez.
Okay.
You?
So the status quo for LAFC looks like from you.
Status quo, yeah. And then subbing maybe somebody in the middle for sure. I don't know who.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's take that sidetrack there. So with Eddie Atuesta, like, as you know, I'm a diehard Selección de Colombia fan. I was watching the under 23 World Olympic qualifiers about a month ago. Atuesta did not have it. The tournament started off well, but it did not end, I feel like, in Atuesta's favor. There was a couple blunders by him. Now, what do you predict from him this season? Like, is he going to take that next step, or what's your thoughts on Atuesta?
He will. Bob Bradley does a really good job in pushing the players to
He's a great developer, yeah.
And the moment that you don't, you get traded. I feel like. I mean, Miller. People also lose to Nashville. Walker Zimmerman.
Yeah, that was interesting. Very interesting. The timing was weird for me, but It
was super weird for me too. It was literally, I got blindsided by it, but it's just that philosophy of Bob Bradley. It's like, if you're not willing to do your job, and he seriously slipped as soon as he came back from the national team, Zimmerman. You could see it, and I wasn't surprised, but I was blindsided that happened so soon before CCL.
My God.
Yeah, so I think Atuesta will. He's a hard worker.
Yeah. Listen, I love all my Union players, but I always keep an eye on all the Colombian players that are in the MLS. It's great to see, because it's definitely it's a different route, not only for Colombian players, but players in Latin America. It's a different route to get to where you want to get to. It's not a bad place to come here and develop. So I really hope Atuesta shows out well for you guys in LAFC. All right, so the next two questions, Valeria, real simple. I'm going to ask you two questions. I just want you to give me one word when it comes to these two questions. All right, so the first question. It's been 2 seasons since LAFC has been a member of MLS. Give me one word to describe it.
Dynamic.
Dynamic. I like that. All right. Well, definitely, that's definitely been something, to say the least. All right. Second question, Valeria. The city of Philadelphia, in one word. What you got? You could be brutally honest. It's okay. You're over there in LA, so it's fine.
So when I forgot the movie, but it's the boxer.
Rocky.
That's all we talked about because we were trying to go to Philadelphia, and we were like, oh, we want to do the Rocky steps. So the whole entire time, it's just been Rocky for me. And brother, you love too.
You don't understand. I really appreciate you saying that. In Philadelphia, for a lot of Philadelphians, Rocky is kind of like a cliche that they're tired of. Me, as we're both our first generation Americans. Rocky was one of the first movies I saw growing up, and it really captivated me because obviously I lived in Philadelphia. And it's not just a movie, it's a mindset we have here. Like, we are underdogs here in Philadelphia, but we work our asses off, and we don't care what people think. We will get to where we want to, and it's a great metaphor for the cities. I really appreciate you said that. That was awesome. All right, so Valeria, the nitty-gritty here. Sunday night, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time here. It's going to be a late one for us. It's going to be prime time for you guys. Give me your prediction between LAFC and the Philadelphia Union.
3-1.
3-1 LA? Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, it could very well go like that. One thing, too, with the Union, we really don't have much luck on the West Coast. We've never won one past, I guess you want to say, Missouri. So it's going to be tough playing over in LA. The environment, the talent on the field, you're already counting the fact that we're not good on the West Coast. So if we can get a draw, I will be super static, to say the least. All right, Valeria, where can people find you on social media?
Twitter and Instagram, Finding Nebula.
Finding
Abuela. I love
that. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
All right, guys.
From Valeria, the OG Expo original and member of 3252. Valeria, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We will have to talk again very soon. That was Valeria, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Right, guys, that was the interview. Shouts out to Valeria. Thank you again for that, guys. Listen, it's not going to be an easy match here against LAFC playing in LA. You know, the jet lag is real here in America. Playing 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, this is not going to be an easy match here. But we're going to do our best to be optimistic and give you guys what we think will happen here in this match. All right. Let's go over our predictions as far as the starting 11 for the Philadelphia Union and what we think will happen in this match for the Philadelphia Union. All right, guys. Tim, do you want to let's do this, guys. I will give you what I think will be the positions, and then you guys tell me if you agree or not. All right.
Sure.
So starting with the goalkeeper, I definitely think we're not going to see any changes there. I think Andre Blake will get the nod again. Anyone disagree?
Nope.
All right.
I
Bench him,
agree.
get him out. He's horrible. No, I'm joking.
I think it'll be Andre Blake, and I'm hoping then we get to see Matt Freese start for Union 2 here this Saturday in their opening match. That'd be so great to see him get some minutes also too, because I know he's in contention for the U.S. Olympic qualifying squad. So if he could get some minutes, I think that'd be pretty valuable for him.
It's great that you mentioned that because at the Media Mayhem, he was there. And Tim, that man is freaking tall. Holy crap. That guy is tall. That's good. That's good stuff there. All right, let's move on to the back line here, guys. Look, I think personally, the controversy last week was, Jakub Glesnes getting the start over Jack Elliott. I think this week we're going to see the same thing still. I see Matt Real, Mark McKenzie, Jakub Glesnes, and Ray Gaddis getting the start. I'm sure you guys disagree.
You know what? In Curtin's presser, he normally, if he points out a mistake, he kind of glosses over it. But he did stay on Glesnes' error that led to the goal for quite a while during the presser this week. But Jack Elliott really only played 5 minutes last week, and he was out of training for almost 2 weeks. I say that's a 50-50 toss up for me as far as what Curtin will do. But I think Elliott should be in there.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting there too. I think I'm there with you, John or Jeff. There, I think we probably will see Glesnes start, but I think it will be kind of a game time decision by Curtin on whether or not to put him back out there or start Jack Elliott. I think Elliott gives you a little bit more stability out of a center back than what we saw from Glesnes, or maybe I'm wrong because I've only seen one real game from Glesnes, so we'll see. I think it's going to be important as we go through the season to remember that Curtin has said that he has 4 center backs that he trusts to start every game. Now, I don't know if I trust that. I think he has 3. I don't think Colin should be a starter at any point right now with these 3 guys, but I think there will always be some kind of competition and contention for the starting 11 spot for the center back pairing, whether I think McKenzie starts this game, obviously. I think this probably will be his last game before Olympic qualifying. I think he's pretty much a shoo-in to go in and help USA qualify for the Olympics, hopefully. So it might be good to have Glesnes come out again and try to play that. But also at the same time, Jack Elliott is going to have to get thrown in there for, when McKenzie's gone. So maybe it would be good to even see Elliott and Glesnes in this game. But we'll see. What I'm getting at is there's lots of options, and we don't usually have those. So I'm struggling. That's where I'm at.
Tim, I have to ask and get a little off topic here. Do you really want the U.S. to qualify for the Olympics with what's going on in Japan?
I mean, that's even if the Olympics happen, right?
That's true.
Yeah, like it's crazy. You know, U.S. soccer hasn't qualified for the Olympics in since the last one I think was over 8 years ago now. So yeah, if it would be kind of funny if this group was able to help, if the Union players were able to help them qualify for it, and then they never even get to go play. That just sounds about right. But yeah,
that's why I'm kind of glad Colombia didn't make it this year. All right, Liam, what are your thoughts on the back line here? Do you think Elliott, or are you thinking Glesnes?
I'd like to see Elliott, and it's weird, John, because the thing is, we
that's a little biased. No, I'm kidding.
No, we recorded last night, and I made a comparison to Glesnes, and I was like, do you know what? I've slept on it. I won't make it today. And then I thought about the performance, and I am going to make it again today. And it just reminded, like, watching him, it just felt like, when you play FIFA and the person you're playing is better than you, so you just hold LB and you just jockey and roam around the box, not really sure where you're going. That's what it felt like. And I think that it's great that the Union have 4 potential starting centre-backs. And we said in the pre-season podcast that it's amazing that they've got that rotation in there and that you can develop it early. But at the end of the day, you want to find that best pairing. Like, having 4 centre-backs is great. As a Charlton fan, I know when one of them is significantly less able than the other one, it can cause some problems, especially with injuries and stuff. So I would like to see Jack Elliott. I think that pairing, as Tim said, will be a bit more stable. But also, as no one on the other side of things, while Matt Real is out there doing Matt Real things, Real Madrid. Why has that not been a name, and where has it been? And it's here now.
Real
Madrid. Okay, that's what we should refer to him as from this day.
Real Madrid. Wow, we might have to, without getting any copyright problems, we might have to make a T-shirt, something like that. I like that. I really like that. Look. I would like Jack Elliott to play. He had a fantastic season last year. He got the contract extension last season with his play. I think that Glesnes, he had his jitters. It's a first game in America. I think he kind of felt that because we saw potential from him in preseason from what we saw and what we heard from, of course, Jim Curtin. So I'm not ready to write off Glesnes. And the fact that Elliott is, still trying to get into game form as well, I think that is the reason why we will see Glesnes get in the start this upcoming weekend. Now, let's move on to the midfield, guys. This is where things get a little tricky for me. So, I would love Jim to get creative here. Like I mentioned with the FC Dallas match, Warren Crayval, great defensively. It's just, trying to create a spark from back deep. But I think at the end of the day, we will see the same 4 guys in the midfield, starting from left to right. Jamiro Montero will still stay at the left. I think at the 6, we will still see Warren Crayval at the right. Our captain, Alejandro Bedoya. And at the tip of the diamond, I think we will see Brandon Aronson get the start again. What do you guys think as far as the midfield goes?
I mean, I agree. I think it'll all be the same, to be honest. I can't see there being much movement, at least just yet. Like, for the most part, I think it worked well. Like, in the midfield, that wasn't the area of concern at all. Like, I think, as we said, Warren had himself a good game in that ball-winning role. I think Aronson cemented his place in the attacking mid. I think that it's only right that Bedoya stays, and you've got Montero. Like, there's no real concern there. It's kind of like, you've got the engine, it's just the front wheel's fallen off and the back wheel's a bit wobbly. Everything else is fine. Yeah,
absolutely. And especially the fact, too, like we talked about Real's defense, you want Montero starting at the left because he is also a really good defensive midfielder as well. So, what about you, Tim? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any changes as much as I might want to see one of the new guys coming at the 6, either Orovich or Martinez there. I don't think this is the game that Jim throws them in there. I think that is probably reserved for a game at home in the next few weeks, either against San Jose or DC, looking further ahead that way. But yeah, Warren Creavalle, I mean, when you're going up against a team that has Carlos Vela, which for me, I mean, now he'll be the best player in MLS this season now that Joseph Martinez went down tearing his ACL in Atlanta. So when you're going to go up against a guy like Vela, you need someone in the middle of the field to deal with anyone who's trying to cut inside and make you look silly and then chip your keeper from 25 yards out like he did last week against Miami.
I was say, that was a bit too specific.
You know, we need someone in there to kind of clog it up and maybe make a tactical foul when someone's trying to destroy our team like that. So, yeah, Warren Creavalle, and then we have Jamiro, Bedoya, and Aronson as the other three midfielders.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think that Jim's not going to put Matij or Jose in a tough spot. You saw last year, too, you know, with the younger guys who don't have much experience yet. He didn't really put him out there during away matches. The only exception really was Mr. Medford Messi. Yeah. You know, he came out with the bang in Atlanta. That was a definitely fun match. Jeff, do you see any changes, or you think it's the same?
I don't see any changes. If they go down, say 2-0, I would say within 5-10 minutes into the second half, I think it'd be necessary to take Creavalle out and put one of the young guys in. I mean, when you're playing LAFC, you can't just say, okay, we're going to hunker down and put our best defense in there. You have to make them work defensively as well. So you have to get some guys in there that can distribute and, you know, create for themselves. And, you know, we know that Creavalle is limited at that. So if they go down early, I'd expect a change pretty quick.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting there. So we will see what goes on with the midfield, but it's obviously they're gonna have their hands full facing off against this lethal LAFC attack. Even though they have CONCACAF Champions League next Thursday, I do think that we will see a lot of their starters, but they're obviously going to try to put us away early and just rest important players like Carlos Velita and such. So let's move on to the forward positions. I, again, don't see any changes there. Sergio Santos Gomes and Kasper Shabilko, they will be your forwards this upcoming weekend. Any changes, guys, you think?
No, I think it's all good.
No changes.
No changes there for the starters. I think we might be seeing possibly a change on the bench, though, since Andrew Wooten has been he's not training, or he has been training this week with the team. So we'll see if he maybe pushes Michi Galina for the role of the bench striker. So we'll see.
That would be nice. It would be nice to have Wooten getting some minutes. I mean, realistically, I want him to come off the bench and give us a spark if we need be.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff on the lineup here, guys. So let's talk about what we think will happen here. Now, look, it's a late game. You know, like we said, jet lag is going to be an issue here. LAFC are the class of MLS, one of the good teams in the MLS right now that we have. Look, I realistically would love the Uni to take a page out of my Napoli. If you guys watched Napoli and Barcelona in the first leg, you know, Rino Gattuso had a great game plan. Listen, when you have a talented player like a Messi or in our league like a Carlos Vela, the best option is keeping the ball away from the best player. Jim Curtin said it this week. The way you stop Carlos Vela is really there's no answer to stop him. Like, he's going to get his touches. But if you can limit the amount of times he has the ball at his feet, you might have a possibility. Yeah, I'm saying bunker down. Keep the possession heavy. You play defense, get the ball back, but keep the ball away from Carlos Velita. If we can get that game plan, I like our chances against LAFC. I think the Union got the nice kick in their ass last Saturday against FC Dallas. This upcoming Sunday, I think the Union will make it a tough match. They will make it interesting. But at the end of the day, I really want to say they can win and get a draw, but I don't see us winning here. I see the Union losing 2-1, and it really hurts me to say, guys. What do you guys think happened this weekend?
I'm going to say LAFC will go up 2-0. The Union will get 2 back, and LAFC is going to score a late goal, 3-2. LAFC.
It's going to be rough. You also have to put in consideration that we don't have a good record out on the West Coast either. Like it's just tough to be optimistic.
Yeah,
it's tough. I mean, as long as they hang in there, you know, it's a very tough start to the season. Dallas and then going to LA. As long as they put in a good showing, regardless of the result, that's what I'm looking for. Is just playing better than last week.
These are just learning experiences for the Union, really.
Yeah.
What you got, Tim?
Yeah, well, first off, if that happens there, Jeff, your score prediction, that will make for a crazy Union Twitter at like 2 a.m. our time. So
I'm going to bed. I'm putting off.
It's just that if that happens, it's time to just turn the phone off and go to bed. That's great.
Go to work.
But it's definitely going to be a tough match for sure for the Union. LAFC, they're, for my money, the best team in MLS still. I know they only beat Miami by 1 goal, in the first game, but they were just coming off their Champions League win a few days before to get to the next round here. So I have LAFC winning 2-1. I'm not really sure when the goals are going to come. I think the Union are going to be very competitive in this match, sort of like how we saw them play against LAFC last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it being in LA this time, that LA is going to find a way to win.
Absolutely. One thing I will mention too is, Jim knows a thing or two about Bob Bradley as well, and it kind of helped us out last season. Obviously, Bob Bradley, I'm making this reference for my man Liam. Bob Bradley is definitely like the Andy Reid of MLS. His coaching tree is pretty, it's really good, and it's only growing. And I hope Jim Kirchin could be the Doug Peterson of the Bob Bradley coaching tree, but we will see. Plenty of time to tell. Liam, what do you think about this upcoming weekend?
See, the more I think about it, and I think what sparked this little idea, not the fact it's 3 a.m. my time, definitely, when you were originally talking then, John, about like playing keep away from Carlos Vela, I think, and I've seen one too many Charlton games this season where they just sit behind the ball and try and drag out a point. And the most notable example, if anyone saw my Twitter feed, was last week, 94th minute, 0-0 against Nottingham Forest, and they tweeted, "Playing it safe now, corner Charlton should be a point." 95th minute conceded. And it's infuriating. So what I think that the better thing to do would be, looking back at last week, I thought the Union played their best football when they were pressing, and it only happened in spurts. So only like 3 or 4 spurts where they had someone kind of following the defenders, and there were a couple of chances created off the back of that. You're not going to beat LAFC by sitting back, because it's almost like you're putting a Mentos in a Coke bottle and just shaking it. Eventually it's going to explode. Eventually they're going to score. Carlos Vela is just way too good to be contained like that. So I think the opposite is just, instead of trying to sit back and let them and just crowd the box, go the opposite. Just don't let the ball get to him in the first place. Keep that pressure on. And if they can't play attacking football, that's when they're going to be vulnerable. Now, whether or not the Union have the legs coming off the jet lag, whether or not LAFC start resting players given the tough slate of games that they've had with all the Champions League matches and stuff, I think they're variables that can, potentially impact that game plan. But if the Union can come out swinging just for 20 minutes, doesn't have to be the whole game, if they can come out swinging for 20 minutes, just throw the kitchen sink, get really attacking down their throats and get a goal, sit back after that, take the rest of the game off, sit back, but go out aggressive early. If they can do that, if they can get first blood, I think the Union win this game in a very gritty 2-1 win. If they don't and they concede first, I can see it being a 1-1 draw. But I'm oddly optimistic and I don't know why, and it's scaring me.
Come on, Liam, you got to pick one way or the other.
Do you know what? I'll go with a win then. We're going to do it. We're going to go with a win. You've pushed me into a corner, Jeff, and I'm going to go with a win.
Peer pressure, biggest bitch of them all. Well, I mean, listen, Liam, I watch a lot of Serie A soccer, so that's where my bunkering down comes from.
Yeah.
All the bunkering down that goes on in Italy. Good stuff, guys. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, We will give our support for our boys in blue, and just give it a match. Really, just give it your all. And personally, if I see the Union giving it their all and they lose somehow by a goal, I'm not gonna be mad as well. Like I said, this first third of the season is not going to be easy, but once we get out of this first third and we get all these Western Conference games out of the way, it's going to get better, guys. I promise you that. All right, good stuff, guys. All right, let's handle some laundry here. We got one question this week from our fans, and shouts out to Perfect Tommy, a great listener, a great supporter of not only us, Do by the River, but PSN as well. He asked, what is the service like for away games for the supporter section? Now, what I will say, Tommy, because I actually dealt with it last season when I went to Atlanta for that match. Sons of Ben really accommodate you well. They guide you the best way. They give you good options of where to go in the city you're at for the match. What to do on match day, like the tailgates, where to tailgate. It's even the best spot to buy your tickets for the match, so you can sit with the supporters during that match. So if you are going to an away match, like if you're going to this LA match or in the future, definitely reach out to Sons of Ben Road Trips. They have an account on Twitter, SOB Road Trips. They will guide you to the best of their ability. I believe Heather Rapier is the coordinator of that. She is fantastic, the sweetest woman you can ever meet. She will guide you for all of that. So great question, Tommy. I'm assuming a lot of people want to know what to do, who to reach out when they're doing away matches. So good stuff there. Watch party, guys. It's a late match on Sunday, so it's definitely tough for watch parties. There's not really much going on this weekend, especially in the city, but we have a couple spots. Obviously, one of the staples for Union fans, home or away, honestly, is the Larimer Brewery right there in Chester, right next to the Power Training Complex. They usually have a watch party. I'm not sure with the brewery laws of Pennsylvania how late they will actually be open. But I'm assuming they will break a rule here and there for the Philadelphians. So I would definitely reach out to Larimer the day before, but I definitely think that they will be open. Also in Philly, South House is a SOB bar, South 13th Street here in Philadelphia. They have viewing parties as well. I'm assuming they will be open and they will have the match on there. I more than likely will be going to Franklin's Pub out in East Falls. It's a 15-minute drive for me here in Northern Liberties, Philadelphia. That's a great spot. It's always packed. Jeff, you were there last week. What was your experience like at Franklin's Pub?
It was great. I mean, it was a real chill atmosphere. There were probably, I would say, maybe 25 to 30 Union fans. So there was a pretty big crowd. Good food, good drinks, and yeah. I mean, the only reason I'm not going is because I live a little further than you do, and it's just a late start. But I'll definitely go back to the season.
Yeah, I'm going alone as well. Usually I bring my girl out to those things, but it's a late night. I completely understand. I'm just the crazy guy who loves the Philadelphia Union, and I will stay up for that. Yeah, so if you guys want more information on Franklin's Pub as well, definitely reach out to Jeffrey Mitchell. He's the one that really sets that up, and he does a fantastic job of getting people together for that. So definitely reach out to Jeffrey Mitchell on Twitter, Facebook. He will guide you to that. As far as South Jersey goes, I'm again, brewery laws, not sure how they work in Jersey, but Zed's Brewery at Marlton, a big Union bar. You can definitely check that out. So good stuff there. All right, to PSN stuff here. First up, Liam, will you be having a watch party this Sunday?
Yeah, so for anyone that doesn't want to go out in the cold, is it cold in America right now or is it warm?
It's been weird. Weird.
If anyone doesn't want to go out in the weird, then what you can do is you can stay home. If you go to the PSN YouTube channel, we'll be having a live watch along. We had the first one last week. It was a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure I blew my voice out. Deafened Tim in the process, so I'm very sorry for that. But it's a lot of fun. You can come in, watch the game along with us, just drop your feedback in the comments, and it's a nice little community experience. Like it's like being at the bar without being at the bar. So basically being at the bar without the obnoxious person sat next to you screaming, that's replaced with me instead. If you want to come in, have a laugh, that'd be amazing. We'll be streaming all night long for the game. And yeah, we'll just be live on the PSN YouTube channel. Like, it's one of my favourite things to do just because it means that we're all watching it as one big family, and it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Yeah, guys, definitely check that out if you have no plans set. You want to just stay home and you want some good commentary. Maybe Tommy Smith and JP Delacamera are not doing it for you. Maybe Liam can do it for you. So
maybe
definitely
Real
check.
Madrid makes an appearance. Who knows?
We really need some t-shirts for that. I really love that idea. That's great stuff. Awesome stuff, guys. Also, too, guys, PSN has new merchandise for you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we got that new drip. We got the nice pink and blue, the light blue t-shirts, which I really want to send over to Mr. Anthony Fontana. He's got the nice pink Air Force Ones. I think it would look really. He can make that look really good. But definitely check that out. That is all on the PSN website as well. Liam, I guess what are your thoughts on these new T-shirts that you brought that we have now for PSN?
I despise them. No, I love them. Genuinely, I think for me, merchandise it's really hard with T-shirts because you look at the landscape of where shirts are now. And without getting too deep about it, but there are a lot of outlets out there that make shirts for the hell of it. Like, we could have Bedoya touches the ball, and next thing there's a shirt which is Bedoya stood on it, and it's a bit much. I think it's people trying to cash in. With PSN merchandise, it's very much designed to be so that you're part of something. So if you see someone else with a PSN shirt, it's an instant kind of connection thing. With PSN season on the back, that's always been our mantra. And the fact that, the PSN was made by me in a different country, in my bedroom, and in the process of 5 years. And I've said this in a million live streams and watch-alongs, where it's like, I want that almost as motivation to carry. Like, if you've got a PSN shirt on and you go, hey, Liam, I just smashed this test at school, PSN season, do it. I love that. And I want it to be that extra chip, the extra motivation sort of thing. So whether it's a job or getting school or just doing something successful, even something as simple on those bad days as getting out of bed and going for a walk, PSN season, that's what it's all about. You're going to look good wearing them. And it's just much more of a community thing. So we don't plug them a lot because we don't like asking people or feel like we're asking people to buy them. But they're definitely on offer if you want to have a 10 out of 10 Tinder bio picture and also be part of the family as well. Absolutely great stuff. It's really true what he's saying about PSN season. Listen, all of us at PSN, we hungry. We want this. And it's a legit mantra that we have. It is PSN season, ladies and gentlemen, and you are witnessing to greatness here. Good stuff there, Liam. All right, guys, any last thoughts you guys have before we sign off? Anything FC Dallas, LAFC, Union in general?
Yeah, I got one thing here. It's about the merch though. So it'll be I'm gonna throw this out to you guys.
Awesome.
So it's an over/under. How many minutes do you think I'll actually be able to wear my PSN sweatshirt without my fiance taking it from me?
I think we're for me too.
17 and a half.
I'm gonna set the over/under at 5 minutes.
Oh my god!
Until the first advert break, I reckon.
Shouts out to all the great girlfriends, fiancés, wives who steal all of our hoodies. And when us guys don't have any hoodies, we're looking where they all at, and they're in your girl's closet. That's good stuff. Awesome. So we're gonna do that bet line. We're taking all the money.
Okay.
So definitely send over your bets on that. Good stuff there, Tim.
Yeah, I'll have her do a review of the sweatshirt because I'm sure I won't even be able to wear it. So I'll have to ask her.
Nice.
I'll shove a camera in her face and be like, all right, review the sweatshirt for Twitter.
Awesome stuff. I love it. All right, guys. That's it. That's all we have for you today on Duke by the River. From my amazing guys here at the PSN and my PSN Union team here, thank you so much for listening in, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. Don't ever miss an episode of Duke by the River. We have everything you need for the Philadelphia Union, ladies and gentlemen. I am El Parcero Philly, and I am telling you guys to Duke on, baby. Duke on. I'll talk to you soon.